This is awesome.
Yeah, it's not bad, right?
When did you get this made?
2000, I guess 2009. It was right when I did Letterman. It was the day I flew to go do Letterman. They finished the Man Cave. I got on a plane. I flew to do Letterman. And they called me the day this got finished and told me my show at Travel Channel got canceled.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Great.
so...
You're like, I'm starting a podcast.
DIY Networks did it for me, and it was the fucking greatest. It was the best thing that ever happened.
Oh, they did it?
Yeah. $180,000.
This?
Yeah. All this wood is reclaimed lumber from like a 200-year-old barn in Indiana.
Wow.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. This floor treatment they did, this guy was like super hard to get. He came in, he stained the concrete and then glossed it over. Like, it was really bizarre. And then
wow,
wine refrigerator, kegerator, which is fucking so overrated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I gotta be honest with you, technology at the time was changing.
Yeah.
And so it's surround sound, but you could very easily just put one of those sound bars in now.
Yeah.
So it's got speakers all over the place. But
so then you made this into a podcast thing, or what?
you know, it's so funny. Right when they gave it to me, they're like, "What do you want this to be?" And I almost said a podcast studio, in which case they would have built me a fucking state of the art podcast studio. And I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd have a podcast at the time.
So what was this in the beginning then?
This was a woodworking shop, and next door is a.
But what were you supposed? You said it was for the travel thing
for DIY Network.
So this was supposed to be for that?
No, so
I don't understand why they built it for you.
So we bought the house. I didn't like the house. The house did not look like what it looks now.
Okay.
And they had this room, which was a woodworking shop attached to this room, and then the garage is next door. And when I bought the house, my dad came in. This was all closed off. This was all a wall.
Oh.
And my dad was like, "This would be a great man cave." I go to Atlanta to do upfronts, and I run into this guy, Andy Singer, and I go, "Hey, man, I know you got a TV show called Man Caves. I got a great spot for a man cave."
Oh.
And at the time, they were like, "We're looking to do something like a crossover with Travel Channel."
Oh, wow. Oh,
Adam
that's
Richmond
awesome.
passed, right? The guy from Man vs. Food passed. And I got all the money they were going to spend on Travel Channel. I got all of it. They were going to split it with us. And so it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. What's the greatest thing that ever happened to you? Like where you go, "Oh, that's something I'll never talk shit about that."
God. Whenever anyone asks like the best time of my life, I think was when I shot my first special, because it was like my dad is a director, and you know, he's been doing stuff in Hollywood for a while, and when I got my first special with Comedy Central, I asked him to direct my special, and
I remember
he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "I'm not going to pay you that much," and he was like, "This will be the time of my life." And we had the best time. He was out in the van, just with the
shut up.
Yeah, and he had done one comedy special before that. He did Dove Davidoff's.
Oh yeah.
And that moment was just so special because like my family was there, my dad was in the van, and I was on stage, and I just, it's your first special, and like when you do your first special, it's like you don't really even think about. They're like, "Oh, and who do you want to hire as a director?" You're like, "Oh, what does that even mean? I don't know." And then they show you these guys that it all looks the same, So it was that was probably one of my favorite moments. The best.
Why do you think you and your family are so close?
Dude, we're so close, man.
I'm being honest with you. I'm jealous, not jealous of it in a bad way, but like I see you and your brother and your mom and your dad doing stuff on Instagram, and I go, they're really having a great time with each other.
I think honestly is why if anyone likes my comedy, if they like my sense of humor, I get it from them. Like that's what we. Just growing up, all we did was fuck with each other and bust on each other. Yeah, dude. Yeah. And it was how we showed love. And like, so I don't know. I think that makes us closer, that like, there's not this like unsaid, of course we've had our moments, but like, there's not this unsaid weirdness that I feel like a lot of families have. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, you're just like, "Oh, I got to go to Thanksgiving," and you're sitting there and you're like, "Oh," and there's so much shit unsaid, and you're like looking and talking about jobs and the weather. We don't do that. We just reminisce or talk about each other or make fun of each other all the time. That's all we do is make fun of each other. That's all we fucking do.
Did you guys do a lot of family like vacations?
Yeah, we had our yearly vacation. We would go to we're from New Jersey, so we would go down to the we would go down to the beach and like we get a beach house for like a week and just hang out, you know.
Wait, when did you guys move out to LA?
I was 12, so 1992.
Your brother's younger?
Yeah, he's 3.5 young. Yeah.
And
I also think one of the reasons why we're so close is because there were two siblings. Because every I just think that, and there's nothing wrong with it, obviously, but if you have like 3 or 4 or even more, then it's like you're just gonna be closer to one than you are with the other, and then that creates a weird thing, and that's just natural, you know. But me and my brother, it was just that was the guy that was my, you know, sidekick, and I was his sidekick, and we put everything into each other. So I think that's one of the other reasons why we're really close.
Do you have an easy time making friends?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I generally like I know like a lot of people think like I'm I was just looking on, it's like anytime I post something I'm making fun of something, people are like if I did like I just posted something where I was making fun of Mark Wahlberg and
I just watched that and was fucking giggling. I make sandcastles, man. I make sandcastles.
I mean, you guys just he wakes up at 2:30, by the way, but that's insane. But anyway,
dude, I'm dying to talk to you about that because I watched that video and I went, I'm so fucking like, sleep's really important.
Oh yeah.
Keep going.
Okay, so but people are like, anytime I make fun of somebody, people say, I love Mark Wahlberg, but this is funny. It's like, why do you have to put that caveat? It's like, I'm doing it because I like Mark Wahlberg. You know what I mean? So that was how we showed love. I don't know where I was going with that, but but to me, that's what my family was all about.
Yeah, my family's. I got 3, or it's 3. It's me and my 2 sisters, and my sisters and I are very close.
Yeah,
like almost probably unhealthy close.
Yeah,
my sister, my wife was not we had to have a meeting about inviting my wife into Big Team.
You're what?
We used to call ourselves Big Team. Me and my sisters.
Yeah.
And my sisters are like, so wait, is Leanne going to be a part of Big Team? Like vocally, like, because we'd say, hey, Big Team, let's go.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we're not going to call her big. Is she part of Big Team? And then they started calling her the Pit Viper because Leanne's really fucking honest, like unfucking healthily honest. But I watch the 4 of you guys, and I feel like it's me and my daughters.
Yeah.
We bust balls, and it's interesting when we bust balls, almost like to the point where I go, when they meet boys, I think boys are gonna have a hard time catching up with them.
For sure.
And it's interesting because we can pair off. Like last night, Leanne and I got in a fight. George and I went to the mall to go get her shoes, and she was George gets in the car. And she's like, "What were you fighting with Mom about?" And I told her, and she was like, "Yeah, man, I'll tell you what's wrong with Mom." And she could confide in me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I found that fucking fascinating.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. And how old is your?
14.
Okay. Oh wow.
How old were you when you lost your virginity?
Oh, 19.
Really?
Older, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You know why, dude? Here's why I've done everything late, because I'm like first of all, I have all these fucking stupid like things like rules that I've made up that I feel like I live by, but they keep me in check. Like here's one of my things that I go by. I never do anything until I regret that I haven't done it. Okay,
that makes sense.
So
that's, by the way, that makes total sense.
Right, because then I know I really want to do it, and I'm ready to do it.
Give them an example so they're listening.
Okay, well, I mean that's one, the virginity. Like but another one is also drugs. Like I was like, well, I never really felt like I missed out on doing drugs, or I never felt like, oh man, everyone did mushrooms the other night and I didn't, and it seemed fun. I should have done that. Then I know I would do mushrooms the next time.
Yeah.
But I've never felt like that with drugs. So I've never done drugs.
Yeah.
But that was with losing my virginity. I was 19 because I know one time the girl that I lost my virginity with, she went away to college, and in high school, I was like, no, we shouldn't. And then when she went away to college, I was like, I should have done that.
Yeah. And
so then when I visited her in college, I did it.
How long did you guys date before you had sex?
Oh, man. It was like a weird thing. Like I had another girlfriend, and then we broke up because she went away to college, and then I was in the same year as the girl that I lost my virginity with. So then we started dating after the other girl went to college. So it was probably like almost a year.
Really? So wait, Did you go to college?
I went to 1 year at NYU.
And then you left?
And then I left, yeah. Dude, I fucking hated school. All of it. Every year. I was like, why the fuck do I don't give a shit, dude.
I want to take that, isolate that.
Yeah, I know.
It's and give it to my youngest daughter. Dude, I hate school.
It's such a bad fucking, but for comedians, like, dude, imagining comedians in school is crazy, dude.
I was awesome at school. I was not
you
awesome
were?
At school. I was awesome in school. Like I made class fun as
fuck.
Yeah. I would.
And thank God, by the way.
Oh, I got asked to leave a class. I had a class, a film studies class, and the teacher called me and my roommate Blair Mendez were in the same class. The teacher called and said, right now you have an F. And in order for you to get a C, you'd have to score 120 on the next 3 tests. You're not going to pass this class. Right. I said, okay. And he goes, I'm going to make a deal with you. If you simply stop coming, I'll give you that C. And I was like, okay. And he goes, here's the problem. You're very funny. You're very insightful, and you make me laugh, and you distract me.
Yeah.
And you make the whole room laugh. And by the way, this is a class of probably, now that I know theater sizes, probably a class of like 500 people.
So this is college.
This is college.
Yeah.
And he goes, and I can't tell you to stop doing what you're doing because I appreciate it, but it is distracting and it makes me laugh. And when I get off a laughing fit, everyone else gets a laughing fit. So if you don't come back, I'll just give you a C. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
And my buddy Blair was like, are you fucking kidding me? Swear on my children's life that story's true.
That's crazy.
Dude, I had a couple classes where they'd ask me not to come.
That's so funny.
But I enjoyed college. I loved going to college.
Really?
I was in college for 7 years.
Well, I know I know your story about that and how you fucking were like the guy there. I just am not that guy. You know what I mean?
But like, okay, so what are you comfortable in your own skin?
Okay, so I wasn't,
because as an actor,
yeah,
I will say when I saw you on Whitney, I went, holy shit, he's a good actor.
Oh,
and I was
cool,
like, man,
thanks.
he fucking, like you seem so comfortable in front of a camera. I'm that comfortable in front of my family.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm not that comfortable in front of a camera, like the way you were. But like, were you comfortable in your skin growing up?
So I wasn't until I feel like I always was comfortable-ish performing. And then once I became a comedian, I felt like I was comfortable just in every situation.
Dude, 2 times I met you. One time I met you on a video camera with Joe Coy. Like I just watched a video of you and Joe Coy at the Richmond Funny Bone.
Oh yeah.
And you were just fucking around, and I was giggling.
Oh yeah.
And then I ran into you. We did a show out in almost Ontario.
Okay.
It was like a bar gig.
Oh, okay.
I remember you destroyed, and then I just fucking turned the room into a shit show with some race joke I was doing, and then a woman disagreed.
Oh,
and of
really?
course I brought her on stage.
Oh God, I don't remember that.
It was like a bar.
Were there like
and like not? And it wasn't all the way in Ontario. It was like Riverside. It was like out there.
I have a bad memory. Who else? Do you remember anyone else on the show?
No, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be.
Yeah, and I remember getting out there and being like, fuck. And then you killed, and then I went up and I was like, I made some fucking... This background, I was trying to be edgy.
I think I maybe remember that, actually. Yeah. There's so many shows that you've played that are like, where you would classify as not Ontario. When you're coming up, you're like, it was not Ontario, but it's somewhere in the Inland Empire or some shit. And they gave you like $40 to go, you know? And it was like, you know... us and Adam Hunter or something,
and DJ Cooch booked me on a bunch of them.
Yes.
I did one gig with him in Miami. He's like, dude, I could work you all through the Inland Empire. And so I did a bunch of Latino shows. Now in retrospect, as a grown-up, I would never like go back and do those because I was like, there's nothing, I'm not winning, I'm not learning anything but bad habits.
That's a good
especially as a white guy going in there, I'm super pandering. So like if I go into a room like that, I go one of 2 ways. I get defensive or I pander, and I'm like doing a fucking minstrel show.
Right. Yeah, I don't. That's funny though. I always think about anytime. Like I remember one time, just as a comedian, like you bomb so much that like you become. I talk about this in my act now, but like you become like this thing where it's like it doesn't, like nothing really embarrasses you anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of comedians have that in them anyway. So like now, whereas when I was 21 and 22, I remember when I broke up with a girl. She broke up with me. The girl I lost my virginity to, actually, broke up with me. And my buddy was like, let's go out. We'll go to a bar and like we'll meet people. I've got this thing that we're going to go to. And there were girls there. And there was this girl that I thought was really cute. And because I thought she was cute, I couldn't, I was like, I don't know what to say. Like, everything I say sounds calculated and I'm fucking it all up. And now thinking about that is insane to me. Like, who gives a fuck? What I was going to say? Who cares what she thinks? Yeah. Like, that's who I am now. And a lot of that is, first of all, growing up, obviously. But then, and I was going through a bad breakup, so I was in my head at that moment anyway. But just bombing. I don't care. Like, dude, I've had 350 of those girls look at me at once and be like, what the fuck is he talking about? You know what I mean? Yeah. This isn't funny. So like, I don't care what, like, I always say to Brian Callen and I say, we say, oh yeah, we do stand up and you want to have a conversation? Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, I do stand up. What the fuck are we going to talk about at a party? Like what, you know what I mean? Like we do our favorite version of that on stage all the time.
Oh yeah, I used to. Know? My wife gets exhausted at me because I go to a dinner party, and someone will go, I did something interesting the other day, and my wife's like, oh, here we go.
I know.
And she'd always preface, guys, Bert, they don't know you.
Yeah.
So just let it be. They don't need to know you.
Yeah.
I'll fucking trump it. I am insufferable at a dinner party.
Well, I mean, that's what made you successful though, man. I mean, that's your thing and that's awesome. But like, it's also like as a comedian, like you do it's for real. It's like, people would think being on stage trying to make people laugh is like, there are people who would rather jump out of airplanes and shit and do, so it's like, imagine that guy jumping out of airplanes all the time. And then somebody is like, oh, I went on a fucking hike the other day. You're like, yeah. You know what I mean? That's what it's like. I feel like.
When did you turn a corner with your personality, you feel like?
I think, well, it's like you always think you do, and then you see yourself like 2 years later and you're like, oh, that's nothing. You know what I mean? But I think that as long as you constantly feel that way, it's good as a comedian. Like, I even feel like I started my podcast, congratulations, like 6 weeks ago now. And even like from then, I feel like, oh, I get it now. Like now this is who I am. Do you know what I mean? And I've used bits from that on stage. And now when I'm on stage, I feel like, oh, it's kind of like I'm just in my room talking like I am in my podcast. So like, I feel like I kind of turned the corner when I started my podcast. But like, I feel like those moments come.
Your podcast is super interesting because it really is just a real extension of you as your sense of humor.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean that's how it felt like how was I gonna, like, I just didn't, like, I do it solo, and I was like, I'll do it solo for 3 times and then I'll probably have to get guests. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, keep talking for an hour. I mean, I know we do it on stage every night, but it's kind of planned.
But it's really just a testament to how good your podcast is. It's really hard to do a solo podcast just coming up with a couple subjects and ranting for an hour. Yeah. Bill Burr, when he did his, when I started my podcast, I was like, maybe I'll do it solo. He goes, do it solo. You don't need guests.
Yeah.
I was like, and
Burr
I did
said this?
Yeah. And I did a couple solo. I go, Bill, they're not good. And he goes, they're not going to be. He was like, let them be bad for like a year and then they'll get better and then they'll get really good. And then you won't even think about it. And then your writing on stage will be so strong. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm just going to have guests. Dude, I did. Any real listener of the podcast knows I did some solo ones.
Oh, really?
I did some solo ones, and they were. I did a solo one, Chris, where this is literally OG Bertcast fans know this. I sang a pirate song where I would just get whacked on coffee on a Sunday morning, and I just come in and do a podcast by myself, and I sang the pirate song of if I was a pirate. Instead of yo ho ho, what I would sing. And it was so almost like creepy, like almost like if you watch a video of a serial killer go like when he shaves his head and he's like, all right. And people to this day are like, dude, I remember the pirate song, because it was just me being weird as fuck in someone's ear. And that's it. There was no notes, no one, and it was so fucked up. But it was fun. And what I liked about it is it got me weird. It got me out of my comfort zone. And then I could never get back there because I always felt like I was replicating it. Do you feel like you really started to blossom in social media on Vine?
So,
because I remember my daughter and her friends quoting you.
Really?
That's only happened twice. My youngest daughter did a John Mulaney bit on the ride to a Dodgers game, and I thought she had come up with it. Do you know how fucking excited I was when I was
awesome.
like, wait, is that yours? And she goes, no, it's some guy on Netflix.
Oh, that's funny.
And my daughters quoted you when you were like, when we were doing, when Vine was big.
Yeah.
And I went, where did you hear that? And she goes, oh, some kids at school said it. And I said, I pulled you up, and I go, is this what they're saying? She goes, yeah, that guy.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I was like, holy fucking shit.
That's funny.
We're talking fifth graders. Must have been fifth graders.
Yeah. I guess it probably was Vine. Yeah.
How did you took off on that platform so quickly and easily?
Okay. I just fucking I think like I love being funny. I love making people laugh. I that's what I like to do the most. So anytime there's a new way to make everyone laugh, and extend the audience, I'm in, you know. So, and I remember, I think I was on Instagram, but Instagram was just pictures, I think, back then.
Yeah, it wasn't even video.
Yeah, so when Vine came out, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Yeah, so when Vine came out, I was like, oh, this is where I can put all the dumb shit I think of all day. And then I was like one of the first. I mean, I don't know how many people were on when I got on, but like it was me and Sasso. We found out about Will Sasso. His Vines were fucking hilarious too.
And you guys had all had the 5-minute pod.
The 10-minute podcast. Yeah, me, him, and Brian Callen. Yeah, and we just kind of did it because we were like doing them, and we were like, oh, look at this one that we made, look at that one we made, and then we were one of the people, like first people who got 1 million followers on Vine, and we were like, whoa, it's crazy. And then, but I just liked it because it was silly and dumb and quick, and whenever I'm making videos online or anything like that, to me, even though I wouldn't say I'm ironically making videos. Like I'm not. I don't believe in that. Like if you're a fucking guy with an ironic mustache for funniness, you still have that mustache and you're an asshole. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like just because you have a fucking saloon hat on in Silver Lake, and you're like, hey, but you're still a fucking asshole.
You're still that guy.
It doesn't matter. You still are that guy. I don't. You know what I mean? But
it's something I'm in love with because growing up, we would find the thing that we thought was ridiculous, like and we would mock it, and then in a weird way, it would become part of our lexicon, like doing an impression of Borat. Like we were obsessed with guys that did impressions of Borat. We're like, dude, enough, totally. Oh, my wife, we got it. And then all of a sudden we're going, my wife,
because you're making fun of the guys,
but then we're doing it too,
right? I know.
Yeah.
So what was I talking about? What was I talking about? Vine. So to me, in the back of my head, and this is too, what I do this on stage. It's like I have this. To me, it's funny that I just get to do this on stage. People are like, "How come you laugh on stage sometimes?" It's because like, I can't believe this is my fucking job.
Yeah,
and I'm talking about this, and you paid, right? But for Instagram and Twitter and Vine, it's like this is just. It's so dumb, and like, and in my attitude on these videos that I put online is just like, I know this is silly and stupid. Like people are like, dude, that video's dumb. Like, are you kidding me? That's the fucking point. What are you talking about? Like when these people, when I got off Vine was when these people started cutting shit together and editing stuff and like putting it on, uploading it. I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore. I stopped doing Vine because it's like, I don't want to try.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I want to talk to the camera or shoot somebody else. There's no cuts.
Yeah.
It on Instagram too. It's like people are putting these videos up on the thing, and it's like,
it was the best Vines. In my opinion, were always you in your car, commenting on something.
Yeah, like what? This is like a 6 second. That drove me nuts. So then I was just like, I don't want to do it anymore. And then obviously went away.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, but these, I like never, like some of these fucking guys, all these videos where it's like, when your girl has a big butt and then the Uber comes and you're like, whoa, and like, we missed the Uber. We were looking at her ass. Boing, gang, 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 boing, boing, boing. Like, what, dude?
Yeah.
Dude, that's the worst. That's the worst shit on social media. You're a hooker if you're doing that. You know what I mean? You're a fucking hooker. What are you selling? What is the end goal? Getting followers and then what? If you're not one of the 4 main people, you're not making money anyway. So what the fuck are you doing, dude? I don't get that shit. So I don't even want to be a part of it. So, to me, it's just going back to what I said, an extension of you, and you talk to the people you want to, and it's an audience. It's like they're with me all day. When I post a video of me at a fucking coffee bean, they're with me having coffee, and that's funny to me.
I enjoy it because I feel like you do get to know people.
Yeah, you do.
What's great about you using social media, and I say this as like a backhanded compliment, but I think everyone when you got into comedy was like, oh, he's gonna be like Dane. He just wants to be a movie star. He won't keep with stand up. He doesn't care about stand up. And then I think everyone watched you and they're like, oh no, he's a stand up. Like, oh wow. Like I think that was like probably, I would say the turn for I think most comics when you got Whitney, but you were always in the clubs.
Oh yeah.
And everyone was like, oh wait, he really loves stand up.
Yeah.
Like and
I would go after we shot the show. I don't know.
And do
go
spots.
to the Comedy Store and the Improv and the Laugh Factory and do spots. Yeah, dude. I don't like anything more than being on stage. I would fucking burn everything else down if I could just go on stage. I don't give a shit. Yeah. It's too fun, man.
Yeah.
It's what I am, and dude, I mean, you shoot stuff, and like, it's like when you go on stage, when you're on set all day and you're just eating almonds and cupcakes from craft service, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. And you do 2 scenes, and one is you walk in through the door and put your keys down, and you got to do that 47 times. And then you're like, oh, acting is boring as fuck. Yeah. So you better either, as a comedian, you're doing stand-up, but you better do projects you fucking care about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You better do interesting shit as an actor, because if you're not, I don't get it. I mean, so few actors are doing projects that they want to do.
I agree 100%.
I don't know how they become 40 and 45 and they're like, this is what I do. This is my job.
I look at some people in acting and I go, I think I would probably question my existence.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I do it anyway still, and I do stand-up, and people really appreciate stand-up because and I never looked at comedy in this way because, I'm very fortunate and my family's great, but like people go through fucked up shit and they turn on comedies and they're like, I get to laugh for an hour or something.
Bro.
And that didn't register with me until, a few years ago, but, I don't know where I was going with that. I wasn't trying to fucking make myself seem.
We were talking about actors.
But I mean, dude, sometimes I'm on stage and I'm like, I actually do think about it sometimes when I'm just like hanging out or I get off stage. Like, dude, there are people that like, or when I see people like literally save people's lives. There are doctors. People go to fucking third world countries and help feed people. It's like, we're just on stage. Fucking. Sometimes I feel like, ugh, I'm not doing anything. But if I was just the 7th lead on CSI, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I actually,
and not to knock on them, dude. If that's what you love, great.
I don't understand how you love it, and I don't mean that badly, but I don't mean that like as an insult. But I don't understand. For me, it's such a disconnect to say other people's words.
Yeah.
I actually got to the point where I'm like, I'm not certain I want to be an actor. Like, I want to have a sitcom.
Yeah.
I want to do a sitcom. Mm-hmm. I want to do a
version of you.
Multicam that I can take what I'm
perform.
And perform and get up and write jokes, get into a writer's room, have fun. What time do you need to be out?
No, I'm good.
Okay. And I want to do that. I want to do that. So I don't know if I enjoy single cam.
Mm-hmm. It's just very boring. So like,
I feel like when I'm in that trailer, I feel like I'm actually wasting my life.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. But that's why it should be something that you either created, that you really feel close to, or something really fucking interesting that you're like, okay, I don't do this. I mean, for me, you know, there was something I was up for that I really wanted that I ended up not getting. But like, I was like, okay, I'll go up for this because it's really interesting and it's different. And if I'm gonna be on a show for fucking 8 years, that's the other thing too. This shit might go for 8 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they offered me a few things last year where it was like I was gonna be the fucking guy on the show and I was gonna be the boyfriend or the fucking thing, and I'm just like, you know, it's hard to say no to money, but you're like, for 8 years I'm just gonna play the guy in flannels. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like and that'll take away from stand-up.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't play the guy in flannels.
Yeah.
I could play Bert for 8 years.
And
be a part of creating it. I cannot be the neighbor. I can't be the guy in the movie like Scourge just did that Mark Wahlberg movie.
Yeah.
And I kept saying to him, like, you're there for a month.
Right.
And like, and theoretically you might even get cut out. And Tom's like, you know, this is part of the process.
Not only that, he's taking a huge pay cut doing that movie.
Dude.
Yeah.
I know exactly what he makes.
Yeah.
He was, but then I was like, but Segura wants to act.
But here's the other thing though. For him, he hasn't really done that yet. That's probably his first studio movie that's going to be really big.
I've never done a studio movie, but I looked at that and I went, I don't know if I could be, I don't know if I think a lot of the joy derived out of that is like, I did a movie, like is like a bucket list, like you said, doing something you regret you didn't do.
You're like, okay, no, it's also it opens you up to a different fan base. I mean, a lot of people who are comedy fans and a lot of people know who Tom Segura is, but a lot of people will see that movie and be like, oh, that guy was funny. Who is that guy? And they'll be like, oh, he's got fucking 3 specials on Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens to, you know, us all the time.
Yeah.
So when you know, you do your show, that, what was it, travel show? Or
yeah, it was Travel Channel.
Whatever. People knew you from that.
No, that was actually a step backwards in my career.
Really?
Yeah, big step backwards because I was taken off the road. I was doing Travel Channel, and no one ever watched any of the shows, and it never translated. People that watched television never were like, "I was good. I'm going to go watch." Yeah, like to the point where when I got fired from Travel Channel, I focused on Instagram, like just creating videos for Instagram and the challenges with Tom. And it changed my life. And focusing on stand-up.
It's crazy.
Focusing on stand-up's been the greatest thing. I don't know. I would have to be the perfect project. It would have to be multi-cam. I'd have to shoot a CBS Radford. It would for me to be into it.
Because what do you want? More money, more fame? You're good.
I'm good with the podcast and the stand-up. I'm really happy.
It's like, unless you're going to do something that's fucking funny. Yeah, I mean, dude. And that's the other thing, too. Like, I did Whitney for 2 years, or 3 years. And, dude, Whitney was one of my best friends. She still is. And it was so fun.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I literally told my agents, I was like, I'm not doing another multicam because that was the best version of it for me.
Yeah. You really were fantastic in that. Like, I don't know if that translated enough for people, like, but you were so effortless in it that I was like, agreed, like, you know, Whitney and you were close. So she probably wrote, it was easier for her to write in your voice, but God damn it.
Oh, thanks, dude. So then Undateable came along, and Brent already had auditioned for the part and got it. Brent Morin, who's one of my fucking best friends. And Bill Lawrence, who created it, was like, hey, Chris is on Whitney, but what if that show, you know, maybe we can get him on this if that show gets canceled. And I was like, and my agents were like, look, I know you said you didn't want to do another multicam, but because, you know, but read this, Brent's in it. I was like, Brent's one of my best friends. Let me read it. It was funny.
It's a really
the part was, you texted me the other day. You were like, hey, was this written for you? And I was like, no, but I read it and I was like, oh, this is like a no-brainer. I could do this, you know? And so I was like, fuck. All right. I was like, yeah, all right, tell him I'll do it. If, you know, and then so Whitney got canceled and then they announced, that he got Undateable. It was like the next day. And so I was like, fuck, I was going to be in a show with Brent, Ron Funches, Rick Glass, like my buddies, you know? And Bianca, who I knew, who played my sister. And then they like kind of they didn't really redo the part because it was already kind of, but like they were, the writers on Undateable were fucking awesome, man. They were so good at like what's Brent do best? What's Ron do best? Let's fucking.
I just read that script in a hotel, in an airport bar, and I was howling laughing. I texted you. I was like, did they write this for you?
Yeah, no, but then the episodes that came to be were like, they literally were like, oh, you did that one bit in your last special, let's put it in this. I was like, yeah, dude, that's awesome, let's do it, you know. Yeah, man.
What happened to that show?
So
what like it was, the pilot was flawless. In my opinion, it was a great premise pilot. They gave you a Bill Murray-esque character, which was up and down, flawed, but fucking hilariously confident. Everything was great about that. Everything, all the characters. What happened to the series?
It was a fucking great show, man. I mean, I don't mean to like fucking, it just up and down, from the bottom to the top. That show was fucking awesome, man. And if that show went if it was still going now, I'd be having a blast. I think what happened was, first of all, NBC was struggling with comedy. I don't know how they are doing it now, but like, it was just struggling with comedy at that time. They were, you know, I know years later that after they canceled Whitney, they were like, we still wish we had Whitney. You know, they just didn't know what they were doing. Yeah. And, you know, comedy wise, I think they had some hits, like they had Blacklist and right, with the big hits that were like drama. Like,
I have not watched networks.
Yeah, I know. I don't really watch.
I watched Lil Rel.
Oh, Lil Rel, yeah.
I watched Lil Rel's the other day.
Yeah. So they watched. So they were like trying to. So in the beginning, they were doing this show on Dateable. We were doing this show that was just this comedy, and it had the people that loved it really liked it. Like, it was one of those things where, like, you know, it almost felt kind of culty, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then we did this live episode at the end of the first season. I think we did 2 seasons of Undateable.
Ed Sheeran in it?
Yeah, I think it was that one, yeah. And it was like fucking so fun.
Really?
We'd shoot for a half an hour. We'd have to run commercial breaks. We're like, all right, we're doing this one.
Really?
Then, oh yeah, dude. It was insane. It was insane. And then so they brought us back for a second season, and Bill Lawrence, the boss, was like of the show, the writer creator. He was like, dude, I think we should do it all live. And I was like, oh, that'd be fucking so fun. And nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
I was like, let's do it, you know? And then they started to write for that. Like, they'd be like, oh, we're doing one scene, and then there's a costume change, and the last scene ends with Brent, and it begins with Brent, so he's going to be putting on a sweater while the second scene starts, you know? Because you have no time.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So he would be running, and he'd be like having his shirt off, but it was funny.
Yeah.
It was like, it almost became, and so I think what happened was, I think it would have been better if we started as a live show, because then it would be like, this is the show. This is what I think people were like, oh, wait, okay, so that was the show, but now it's live. I just think people didn't really get what it was. And that, coupled with not enough people were watching NBC for comedy. And, you know, it was like, it's hard. It's hard to get somebody to watch anything.
I think they have expectations of people who should be watching, not realizing it is just like, I'm a big fan of Google Trends. And if you look at Google Trends and you type in, like, do you know what Google Trends is? Mm-hmm. I typed in Travel Channel at one time, and I just watched their viewership, like the people that were Googling Travel Channel just dropped to the point where more people were Googling me than Travel Channel, at which point I was like, wait, what the fuck am I doing here? And then I got fired. And I was like, oh, I'm bigger than the network. Yeah. Like, more people Google me than Google the network.
Wow.
And so you look at that, the only thing that is different is Netflix. Yeah, Netflix, you watch it go like this. Yeah. It's like Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Like fucking, oh yeah, Justin Bieber's, like, you're his favorite comic.
Well, 5 years ago.
Have you talked to him at all?
I saw him at the Comedy Store a few months ago.
Really?
Yeah. Like right before he got engaged, which I guess he's engaged now. But yeah, I talked to him. I mean, you know, he was cool, man. I mean, he's always been really cool to me. And I like the guy.
Yeah. But I like him too.
Yeah. He's I mean, he seems happy now. He's engaged, and he's always like, but he seems always happy, dude. Every time I see him,
he's found religion or faith of some sort.
Yeah.
It's like, at least not doing drugs.
Nah.
Like, who gives a fuck?
I know. That guy really turned a corner, man. I mean, I think it was, people were obviously unfair to him, like, because like, oh yeah, he's a fuck up. He was racing a Lamborghini down fucking the street in Miami, but it's like, yeah, he was also 17 and had $200 million. Yeah. I would have been killing people just for the thrill of it.
You've found, I think, pretty big success young, but you've never fucked up. You don't fuck up.
Yeah, well, in that way, and the drugs
and driving and fucking 9 children, like you've kind of been reeled in. Do you think you make a good dad?
Yeah, I think so. I've been thinking about that lately because I never wanted. I always in my like family, I just thought, oh, growing up, the thing you do is you just get married and you have kids. So I always was like, oh, I'll have kids. I can't remember having the thought. It was just something that I was just part of me. Yeah. And then when I got older, I got married to a girl that
blew me away.
Yeah.
When someone said
that I was
married.
Might
have been you, Halston. Yeah. Halston, my the guy who runs my podcast, is one of your biggest fans in the world. Like, nice. I texted him last night. I go, Delia's coming over, and he wrote back, I can't wait to meet my cult leader.
That's right, bro. That's right.
Yeah, so you can feel free to ask. I'm gonna have a section where you can ask him any question you want, Halston.
Okay, cool.
Okay, but yeah, wait, I dude, when I might have been Halston, it might have been someone else was like, Delia was married. Yeah. And I was like, wait, what?
I know, I don't seem like the type.
I fucking Googled that woman. Yeah. I was like, wait, I got to know more about her. Yeah. I got to know more about him. When was this? Like, how did that happen?
Well, it was fucking 12, 13 years ago, yeah.
How old were you?
I was 26, I think, when I got married. Yeah.
Holy shit.
And she was 21.
Really?
Yeah. So she was just great, and I was like, I love her, and I was like, she was like, we should get married, and I was like, yeah, if you want to. It seems like a logical step. I know we're young, but
wait, what were you doing in your career at the time?
Okay, so we were dating, and I did my first open mic. So yeah, or I did my first open mic at 23. And then never did it again for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then, or didn't do it again for 2 years. And then I was like, I always wanted to do stand up because I always wanted to be a comedian. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And she was like, great. And then, so I started doing it. So, I started doing stand up while we were going out. And then, was doing open mics, got married. Probably, yeah, I got married while I was doing open mics. And
really,
and then
but you were trying to be an actor as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And in very few things, I also was a writer. I sold some scripts that never got made.
Really?
Yeah, in my early 20s. I wrote a movie that was picked up by a production company, and then nothing happened with it. Then I got the rights back, and then I sold it to Kevin Spacey, to Trigger Street.
Really?
Yeah, and we were gonna make this movie. He was gonna produce this movie.
What was the movie?
It was called Union, and it was about.
But let me guess. Ready?
Yeah. Okay.
Bunch of young guys in their 20s.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the next. In my head, the next Swingers or Diner. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I can totally see. Yeah. I can totally fucking buy that script.
Yeah, and
I totally ship it.
And it was now if I was as big as I am now, it's about 22-year-olds back then. So like obviously not, I don't give a shit about it now, but like it was going to be like, I was going to do it. We're going to try and get some guys in it, and never turn into anything. Now I could probably get it made, but it's about 22-year-olds. So
yeah,
but it was dude, I would wake up, write hours and hours and hours a day, and go to bed. That was my fucking life.
Really?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. And then once I started stand up, I was like, this is where
my writing goes.
Yeah,
it's hard to put your writing anywhere else than like on stage for me.
Yeah,
like at the time, like I think it's different brains also. Like when I was doing Travel Channel, I was in a production brain. I'd spend the day googling Fertilance pit vipers,
right?
Because I was like, I'm gonna have to catch one,
right?
All right, I need to know everything I need to know about that fucking goddamn stupid. I still have the snake boots from it. but never snake boots. I bought Googled snake boots. I bought the best snake boots. Fucking the guy from Naked and Afraid, the guy who created it, almost lost his foot from a fertilance. I know more about fertilances than I'd ever need to know.
Well, it might come in handy in your stand-up at one day. You never know, you know?
So you wrote the script, people buy it.
Yeah.
You meet this chick, you find stand-up.
Yeah, and I was like, and then so then the stand-up kind of took off, you know, like I did my first TV spot like 2 years into stand-up, and so it kind of started to take off very quickly before I was like knowing what I was even doing. And then I was just doing spots every night, and I think to her credit, she was like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean? This isn't what I signed up for. And she's right. Yeah. You know what I mean? She was like, so then we didn't have kids, and we just kind of like, called it, you know, chalked it up to, all right, look, we were young, no kids, nobody's going to get too hurt. Just call it a loss, which I don't think it was a loss. I'm very happy I was married. Yeah. Because now I know what it is, and you know, and getting divorced is not a bad thing, man. I mean, I think that people I think that, you know, I learned a lot, and I know to not take it lightly, marriage, and I know to also do it when I'm ready, and I know that, you know, I'm not going to be one of those guys who's like, nah, I would never do that. I was there. It's like, dude, you fucking life changes. You figure it out. You never say no to shit that, you know, you never know what's going to happen. So now I've been doing stand up for the, you know, I wanted to get to a point in my career to where I feel happy, and I'm happy, and I'm, you know, I get to fucking do theaters all across, you know, the fucking world now. And so it's fucking, it's awesome. And I feel like it worked out. I don't feel like, oh shit, I fucked up the relationship. She's happy. She's got another husband and a kid. Yeah. And I'm
Have you talked to her?
Yeah, like, you know, I run into her and stuff. She's great. Real? Yeah. I mean, I haven't run into her in a while, but you know, she's awesome. She's awesome. It wasn't like it was hard to split, because divorce is hard, but I've had breakups since then that have been way harder.
Really? Yeah. What kind of breakup guy are you? Like, I'm a burn it to the ground breakup guy.
Nice. Nice. I am. It's different every time, dude.
For real?
It really is.
How many girls have you broken up with? Versus how many girls have broken up with you?
I think it's probably been half and half. So what about you? What?
I'm throwing a perfect game. Everyone's broken up with me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but if I find out I don't want to be in it, I just start burning it to the ground.
Yeah, I mean,
like
I'm
not
done
grown
that.
up, but I've only broken up with one girl. One girl I broke up with, and I was like, by the way, I was like probably 28 at the time, and I realized, hey, if I'm not happy, I don't have to be in this. Yeah. like a real revelation of like, hey, I'm not happy.
It is way, way, way harder to break up with somebody than it is to be broken up with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be broken up with.
It's not even close. I mean, the heartache is real, and I have hated being broken up with before.
So wait, give me your breakup speech.
So,
like, walk me through a breakup.
I remember, I mean, dude, also, if the girl is truly in love with you, yeah, you have to do it like 7 times, breakup. Yeah. You can't, at least that's who I am. Yeah. I'm not the kind of guy who can just see, oh, she texted, we broke up, can't text her back. I'm like, I hope she doesn't kill herself. Let's move these thumbs. You know what I mean? Like I want to. It's in me to. It is definitely in me to make sure that people are okay. Like which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think at its core it's a good thing, but you know.
So then let's walk through rules of breakups. This is really fascinating because I've only cheated on people to get them to break up with me. Like I've really been a really bad boyfriend. Right. But I'm not good, and I had no rules for breakups. Like meaning, like if we broke up and then you wanted to have sex, we had sex again.
Yes. Oh, I'm real good at not doing that.
Really?
Yeah, really fucking good.
I'm horrible at that.
When I break up with a girl, I don't have sex with her again.
Really?
But I will be there for her.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, I'm real good at that.
I'm so fucking bad.
I get that. But I think love changes. And once
break up with me.
Okay.
Hey,
man, I actually, in my heart, I felt bad already. Like, I was like, this sucks. Because I was imagining, like, the times I've done it. You know what I mean?
By the way, and I'm already vulnerable. I almost said thank you for taking me to dinner. Okay, ready? Go break up with me.
I think, you know what? Actually, before we even do this, I think my move is, I'm realizing is...
Yeah.
To get into the argument and be like, all right, well, this isn't working out. Like, I don't think I've ever... There was one time I was going out with a girl for 6 months, and I was like, hey, this isn't right.
Yeah.
We're not good for each other. I hate this, but I don't think we can be together. I did that one time.
And then I would say,
what?
We got to give it time.
Yeah.
Relationships grow.
And then I remember saying, I don't want to. I'm sorry. And but you have to, you know what I mean?
Oh.
And that sucks.
It's such a weird place to go. I remember one girl I broke up with. I remember taking her to Yamashiro and saying, I don't. It was so fucked up because I did it way too early.
Did what?
The breakup. Like I
Meaning you could have gave it time and see if it worked out?
No.
Early in the day.
Early in the dinner. We ordered and then I broke up. And I was like
waiting to go to the bathroom to order because you don't want to slow up the process. That's hilarious.
I called her. I'd gone to yoga that day and I called her and I said we should go to dinner and she was like, okay. Like really excited. We hadn't gone to dinner in a while. I didn't take her out on a date and then we went to dinner and we sat down and I said, can we get a drink? We said, yeah, I got a drink. Killed the drink, got my confidence up. I don't want to date you anymore. And the lady that came over, what can I get you guys to eat? And I was like, oh fuck.
Oh my God.
I should have done this.
First of all, why did you take her to dinner to break up with her?
I have no fucking idea. It was the worst breakup. I mean, it was like, and then we had dinner and she talked about like, she tried to get me back and I was like, I can't. And I was like, hold firm. And then I was like, get drunk enough where you just become belligerent.
Yeah. Why you should break up.
And then she left the restaurant and I had to walk home from Yamashiro.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And then she came over to my house to pick something up 6 months later, and I had lost 50 pounds, and I was 186 pounds, and I had abs. I looked fucking amazing.
You were like a stud.
She walked into my room and was like, oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, hey, what's up? She was like, you seem like you're in a better place. And I was like, I feel really good. And then I met my wife like right after that. Man. And then my wife dumped me. Oh, that was a tough one. Oof. And then I had to fight. Have you ever fought to get a girl back?
Yeah.
Like made a mixtape?
No, I think...
You know, it's so funny. I don't see that side of you. Like I see I wonder, do you think people misunderstand you because of the way you carry yourself, the way you look?
100%, yeah.
Really?
It happens all the time, yeah. All the time. All the fucking time.
Because I have two...
First of all, people think I'm on cocaine. Yeah. People after my act are like, yo, how much coke are you on? And I'm like, what?
Really?
Yeah, they just don't get it, that I'm just being silly. You know?
Yeah.
Because they're like, who the fuck would be that silly and not be on cocaine?
Yeah.
You know? And I get that. They work at fucking Crate and Barrel. Why would somebody be that silly if you work at Crate and Barrel? But this is my job, to be silly, and I'm not on cocaine, you know? But we're going to say, sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, people misunderstand me all the fucking time, yeah. All the time. That's why the podcast has kind of helped. Because people look at me and they think, oh, that guy... I think I used to have a joke about it. I don't know if I did it on my last special or not.
I think I've heard this joke. Keep going.
I look like the guy...
The creepy guy that's 30 that...
Yeah, that...
I know the joke.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but it was something like... That
fucked your girlfriend.
Something like that.
I look like the creepy guy that fucked your girlfriend.
Guy that fucked your girlfriend, yeah. I know I look like that, and I know that I carry myself like that, but I don't know what I'm doing. That's just me. You know what I mean? I'm not...
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I look like that, and I know I feel like that. And I know I feel like the guy, like, I mean, you know, but I don't know, like you have that party vibe, that life of the party kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And you are that guy? I mean, you are that guy.
That's why we were talking before we started.
Yeah.
I haven't been drinking in a while. and it's very what happens to me when I don't drink, and I by the way, I don't. And if we're gonna be very real, I never really took breaks like the way I'm taking them these days until we did Sober October.
Yeah.
Once we did Sober October, I did my special and I didn't drink for like a month, and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And then I did drink for like a week, and then didn't drink for another like 2 weeks, and then I did and then I was leading up to the marathon. I did the marathon. I didn't drink leading up to the marathon. Didn't drink leading up to the triathlon that I just did. And now I'm in this place where it's like I become very grounded, I guess, and like my frenetic energy has disappeared. The thing that would get me to go like, oddly enough, it's the same thing that gets me to shoot videos in the morning. Like I think it's my blood sugar or something. Like if I'm hungover and I have a cup of coffee, all of a sudden I am hyper creative.
Yeah,
and so. Like yesterday, I woke up and I went for like a long walk in the morning to try to write a joke, and all I could come up with was nothing silly. It was like angry shit, and I was like, "Wait, what the fuck's going on?" And then last night, everyone went to go to party for the fucking Rams thing, and I was like,
yeah.
I kind of want to sit in bed. I really enjoy like sitting in bed and then seeing what the girls are doing, and then getting in bed and having my computer out and like getting online, and like watching it. I love that shit. I'm a real homebody. I think the people think I like to be at bars. I love being home. I think that is the little push and pull with me, is that I go on the road, and I think it's part of what got me to take my shirt off the first time, is that I took my shirt off and I was like, oh, I'm silly again. Like I'm on the road. I'm not depressed. I don't miss my family. I'm silly. Kill a beer. Fuck it. We're just telling jokes. We're just having a good time.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. I mean, I guess it's about finding the best way to be you in certain situations,
I think I disintegrated the line between who I am off stage and on stage. And you
definitely get you. You definitely get you when you see you, and whether it's your podcast or your act or whatever it is, which is a great fucking thing. It's a
I think you're more complex, oddly enough.
Well, here's the thing, dude. I also like. I remember too when I started my podcast, I was like, I don't know. I want to do like cool projects, and I want people to not kind of know who I am.
There's a part of that that's valuable. Like Tosh, no one knows who Daniel Tosh is.
It's definitely valuable. But Jesselnick is like that. Yeah,
but I would argue, and I know both of them not fairly well, but like I don't know them fairly well. That's a stretch, but I know them.
Yeah.
I don't think that Daniel has the silly. Like Daniel's very silly.
Yeah.
Like I could see Daniel doing so. I mean, you look at Tosh.0, it's a silly show.
It's silly for sure, yeah.
But I think what endears you to most people is your silliness. I think that is by far. I think it's part of the things, and not to draw a comparison to you and Dane, but one of the things that I think separated Dane from his audience was that he got very serious about everything. Everything was very serious. One of the things about you that I think that all the social media and your podcast has brought is it made every single one of us, I'm not speaking for fans, us go, oh, D'Elia's here. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
cool.
not to be a dick to Dane, but not a lot of people saw Dane back in the day and were like, oh, cool, Dane's here.
Right. I see what you're saying.
I think a lot of people was like, oh, hi, Dane.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't like, it's just who has the time to be that serious, and just, I like joking around. It's funny.
But what fascinates me about you is you've been very vocal about wanting to be an action star.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Dude, like when is that project happening? And
I don't know, dude. I wrote I had a thing written. It's awesome. It's a fucking great script. And it was for me and Jason Statham. I met with Jason Statham.
For real?
Yep. He loved it. And I went to his fucking house and like pitched him the movie. And then
do you get nervous
with
when
the
you
guys?
do that?
I love Jason Statham, so I don't remember, but I probably was like, fuck, I mean, I'm at Jason Statham.
Do you second guess what you wear when you go to his house?
No, I don't do that. But that's funny. That's
funny. Collared shirt? Do I wear a collared shirt?
Like that would matter, like that would make or break it. So he was nice as shit. It was great. Beautiful fucking house. And we pitched it. He liked it. And then it just kind of, one of those just things that happen in Hollywood where you're like, oh, I guess he's passing or whatever the fuck happened. Or I think it was like before some movie came out, and then that came out and they wanted to do a different thing. And anyway, so then we went to like, a few different guys, Liam Neeson, I think. And I mean, all these guys would be awesome. They're all like my dream guys. I don't know. I just had it in mind. It was Jason Statham in the beginning. And, they wanted, I mean, a lot of these guys wanted to do the thing that's going to pay him $30 million, and I get it. And this wouldn't be one of those things. And if I were in their position, I probably wouldn't want to do it either. But, you shoot high, and I also don't give a fuck who does it. I just want it to get made. But, I sent it to a few companies, and some of them passed. And
how is that possible? Like, that's what's frustrating to me. I go, if you have a project and you can't get it greenlit, then I go, then what's the purpose of me writing a script?
It's tough, man. I just think they want to say no.
By the way, my wife saw you on Instagram. The picture of you holding your dog shirtless. Oh, yeah. And I was trying to show her something else. She goes, "Who is that?" And I went, "He's coming to the house to do a podcast." So, but that's what's frustrating about this business is I go, so if you write the project and you're pitching it and you've got a real acting reel, like people go, "Oh, he definitely can act."
I don't know.
Then you go, "What the fuck's the point?"
Yeah, I mean,
what about crowdfunding? Could you crowdfund it, or do you need a star? You need a star.
I think you need a star for this project.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you'd need like 15 million to make this. Yeah, and it's like it's funny, but it's not a comedy. It's like, to me, my favorite movies were made for not comedians, and then you put a comedian in it, and it's like just becomes funny. Beverly Hills Cop.
So I just had a very in-depth conversation with someone about saying, "God, I wish I could credit you. I'm so sorry." It was Anthony Cumia.
Okay.
He said they don't make murder comedies anymore.
Yeah.
Like, he goes, the beginning of Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
I hope this was Anthony. The beginning of Beverly Hills Cop, his friend comes up and they shoot his friend in the back of the fucking head.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's how the movie starts.
They don't do that anymore. Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. Lethal Weapon.
Do that anymore.
Fucking 48 Hours.
Yeah.
48 Hours. He shoots him in the chest, and it's the funniest part when he shoots him in the chest. He goes, "You shot me," and he goes, "You said to shoot you."
Yeah,
like they don't make them like that.
The genres became their specific individual genre. They're not. They were used to be like, that's a comedy, but it's also, you know what I mean. But now it's just the movie like that is that fucking, what was that Bruce Willis Tracy Morgan one that came out where it's just like, that's not the fucking movie, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I have a hard time with those. How excited are you for this Netflix thing?
Oh, the global thing. Yeah, I'm actually
fucking big.
You know what I'm excited for is I really hope that I get to do so. For those of you that don't know what it is, which is probably most of you, but it's this.
This is what I'm a great host. Yeah, tell everyone what it is.
I mean, I do the same thing, but this is it's a global release that Netflix is doing with like 47 comedians all around the world, and there's 4 for each region. And in the American region, there's 4 comedians. It's Nicole Byer, Nick Swartzen, Neil Brennan, and then me. And each comedian does a half an hour, and it's our own fucking kind of special. But it's a half an hour. And what I hope is half an hour has become a thing, because I did that, and it is so much easier and better to do a half an hour than it is to, I mean, obviously no, but like, it's just, an hour, it's like, as funny as it can be, the hour needs to also be, I don't know, in my opinion, look, I've done 3 or 4 of them now. It's like, it needs to be also something else at this point. It can't just be, I did 2 specials. My first 2 specials were silly, fun, observant
Comedy
stuff.
Central, right?
One was for Comedy Central. The next one was for well, I guess I did my half hour for Comedy Central too.
Yeah.
But Incorrigible was kind of, that was my first Netflix one after Comedy Central. That was kind of like my first Comedy Central special. Man on Fire was definitely different, and it was its own thing, and I was kind of, becoming what I was, the guy I was then in that moment in my life. It needs to be something else now. But with half hours, I feel like it can just be whatever you want it to be because it's quick. You know, for hours it's like, okay, we're laughing. Half hour goes by. Okay, we're laughing. Okay, but what's he saying to me? Yeah. You know, I don't know.
No, I agree.
That's not right.
No, I totally agree. I think first of all, I think the art form of an hour has changed.
Yeah, it definitely has.
In even the Netflix algorithm,
yeah,
the art form of an hour has changed, and you do need to have if you're going to do an hour, you kind of need to have a point of view.
Right. It's a point of view.
It's really hard to be Dimitri Martin and do set a punch for 1 hour.
For an hour now.
By the way, I like it because I can sit all fucking day and watch great joke writing.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard for people to do that. I think it's also going to be, just with how fast everything is becoming, like and easily consumable things become in a shorter amount of time. I don't know. I mean, I know comedians have that thing where it's like, nah, I want to do an hour, you know? That's my thing.
Well, if you're going to stick around for the hour for Netflix, you have to have, you're right, you have to have a thing. Yeah. Like I was thinking about my next hour and I'm like, I got a great 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I think we were talking about this at the Comedy Store, but Netflix was like, do you want to do one of these? And I was like, I don't know. And they were like, they said like, we'll do your next hour and later. And I was like, I do have a half an hour that I don't want in my next hour. And it does crush.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it. I'll just do one of these global things. And I don't know. And I liked it way more than I even thought I would, because like, I'm like, oh man, I hope half hours become a thing. It's just, I don't know. They're just, I don't want to say they're better, but it's just because they're not better, but it's just more fun. It's easier. And it's also how people watch comedy. Those things get shared on Facebook. They're like 5-minute bits or whatever the fuck, you know?
You've got one going viral right now. I've seen it like 4 or 5 times.
So, well, I don't know which one you're talking about, but the fucking, the first bit that went viral for me was the drunk girl shit I did on, I was just talking about how drunk girls are on my first Comedy Central special.
Black.
Yeah, my white male black comic. So, I mean, millions and millions of people have seen that, but have not seen my special. That special.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it just got on YouTube. It would get shared, and then
because the whole special wasn't out.
No, the special was out, but people would upload it to YouTube.
No. So I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
What I'm meaning to say is that when my machine story went viral,
yeah, exactly.
I was very vocal, and I was like, I didn't really say this, but I was like, hey, if you want to steal it and put it online,
yeah.
like get people to see it, that's fine. But when you have a Comedy Central special, it only airs a couple times,
right.
And that one clip gets pulled and ripped,
right.
But I bet the whole special's got to be out online, right? Or have they pulled it down? Have they put it up on YouTube?
I don't know. Comedy Central was pretty good about like taking stuff down, but back then I was like, please just leave it up.
Yeah.
And they were like, nah, we're putting all this stuff on ComedyCentral.com, which was a bad move, I think. Yeah. And it would get to 1 million hits. It was weird. It was, as soon as it would get back to 1 million hits, they'd take it down. I'm like, it would probably have like fucking 20 million hits at this point.
Yeah. I saw that a bunch.
Yeah. So I think fucking 3 months ago, at most, Comedy Central posted it. 3 months ago. This shit came out 5-6 years ago, and it just got to 1 million views now. And I'm like, where you been? It would have been so good for them to just post this fucking thing, or just even let it live. Who cares who posted it? It would have got more people to see the special than actually saw the special.
Dude, the best thing Ari Shaffir ever did with the storytelling show was say, I'll do the storytelling show, but I want to have it on YouTube.
Yeah, no fucking shit, dude.
I told the one flying dildo story, and everyone yells it at my shows.
Yep.
I told the fighting a bear story. Everything.
Yeah.
I almost told the story I closed my special with on Ari's, but the last minute they fired Ari, and I pulled out.
Oh, gotcha.
I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
What was the store like when you started?
The Comedy Store?
Yeah.
Dude, 30 people on a Friday night.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you think that shaped the way you do stand-up?
Playing for those people?
Yeah.
Oh, it made me really do things that I thought were funny, because I was like, man, if there's 30 people here, at least I better fucking think that it's funny, because they might not.
Really? So like there was no part of you that... I want to get back to the special, by the way. I didn't mean to switch subjects.
It's okay.
But there's like performing in New York was probably great for me, but it took moving to LA to realize how to take what I learned in New York and turn it into a craft. Like I knew how to fuck with black people and Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
That was it.
Right. Well, so I think for me it was good because I was running around doing different spots. Like playing the Laugh Factory and improv is completely different than playing the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Especially when there's 30 people at the Comedy Store. And so I would do the Comedy Store for 30 people, and then I would go to the Laugh Factory and play, sold out shows. So I got that balance,
Oh yeah, okay. What do you like better, clubs or theaters?
I don't know if I could say I like one better, but it always goes back and forth. Like I did a club run before my Man on Fire special, and at the end of that, when I shot it, and I was like, dude, I gotta do theaters, man. I can't do fucking 400 shows at the fucking DC Improv. Just let me play Warner Theater. If you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
because it just gets tiresome, and you do one show and then you're out. I do like kind of posting up and being in a city for a few days. But once I'm starting to get there with some of the theaters, so it's like I'm going to be in Boston playing the Wilbur like 4 or 5 times. So like, I think 4 times. So I'll be there the weekend. So that's great.
When's that? January,
November like 30th or something.
Nice. 4 shows.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, it's cool.
I know what that paycheck is.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's a good one. So I think I'm going to do another show too in Boston before that. I don't know. I'm thinking about because the 4th show's going to sell out. Like tomorrow or some shit. So
really,
I'm going to do another one, maybe at the bigger theater, but before that on the Thursday, we'll see.
Do you stress about ticket sales ever? Like when
I don't stress, but like,
do you ever go like, wait, why isn't Casey?
Yeah, like there's already a weird one in Fresno. I'm not selling well, and I'm like, I don't know why. I mean,
mine was Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama's tough though.
The first show sold out clean, and I was like, add a second show. And then they were like, ooh.
Yeah, but that's a weird market. I was weird there too. But then there's weird ones that you're good in, like St. Louis.
Oh yeah, I'm in Kansas City. No, I'm not in St. Louis. I'm in Kansas City this weekend, and I didn't think that. I just assumed it wouldn't sell out. And it's sold. I think a lot of things sold out because my special just aired.
Oh yeah.
So I was like,
that's, by the way, that's a slow burn too. Just wait.
Really?
Yeah, it's awesome. You're
really?
Like, yeah, it's fucking awesome because your first Netflix thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. In a year, you're like, ugh. People watch fucking not only Man on Fire but Incorrigible, and that's how they're like, oh, who's this guy?
People say that to you when they come up to your shows. They go, oh, I just saw your Netflix special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and you're like, huh?
Yeah. There's so many people who don't know you are. That's the best part.
Yeah,
because they're gonna know who you are.
Were you gonna go on tour? Are you gonna tour the world this year?
I might go next year. I might go to do some European shit. I mean, I was in Australia last year.
I feel like you would be huge in Scandinavia.
Really?
Oh,
you went?
Yeah. No. But Ari did. I can't imagine Ari would be big in Scandinavia, only because I feel like a little bit of energy translates over there through the roof. Like, you know who was really big there was Pablo.
Oh, I know that.
He'd go for like 2 weeks and make $3 million.
Amazing.
Yeah. Hey, when did you get your tattoo, and what was the thought behind it?
I got it. So this is Man on Fire, right? It's fire, and then that was my special name. So I got it probably 4 months ago.
I just showed up, and I didn't know if it was real or not.
I know people are like, "What part are you playing?"
Yeah.
No, it's real, and I love tattoos. I fucking love them.
Do you have any more?
No, this is the only one.
Wait, hold on. Your first tattoo's on your hand?
On my hand, yeah.
Really?
But that's very me. Is to be like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking put it. I want people to see this shit. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go for it. And I waited till I was like, I should have fucking have a tattoo, which is my thing, my rule that I talked about. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to get it. And then I got it. And because I always like I love tattoos. And I never, part of me was like, I don't want to have to spend fucking an hour covering it up when I'm going in and doing some shooting,
Yeah.
But now at this point, it's like the business, people in the business, they know who I am. If they're going to hire me, they know I'm not like this guy who's this bad guy.
Yeah.
Just because I have a tattoo. They know I'm like silly. So, they know what they're getting, but I was like, fuck it. If they want to cover it up, they'll cover it up. But
I literally feel like I saw it the day you got it. You posted on Instagram.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
I went, no.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, no, he doesn't have any tattoos.
Yeah, no.
It's an interesting place to start. Yeah. Let's go through a list of things that I'm gonna try to think. Halston, please feel free to help. Of things that you go that you may regret not doing. Okay.
Okay.
So like drugs are not one of them.
No.
Alcohol.
No.
Will you ever go?
Maybe.
That would have been fun.
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm not saying I would never drink. You know?
Yeah. Scuba diving.
I mean, I've done snorkeling. I feel like
it's a little different.
Oh yeah, it's a lot different. But I'm saying like when I did snorkeling, I was like, why would I want to go further down?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Hunting.
I don't imagine I would ever do hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
been. I don't imagine I would ever. I've been like to the hunt. Yeah. I don't imagine I would ever do the actual hunting. Is what I mean.
Oh, you like camping?
Yeah, I would see it.
Yeah.
I've seen it, but I wouldn't actually do the actually. I would go with the guys. I've been with the guys to see the shooting.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Been with the guys to see the shooting.
Yeah, but I don't think
there should be a magazine for that.
Yeah.
Own a motorcycle.
No, I don't imagine I would ever fucking do that.
Really?
It's just like, why?
Because you're going through a midlife crisis?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
Shave your head.
I would do that for sure. Apart. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Halston, any other good ones? Okay.
Going to church.
I would go to church, but only if someone I cared about really wanted me to go.
Okay. Release your own album.
As a music?
Yep.
It depends. Like a serious one?
I don't know.
Fuck no. Serious one. A joke one, yeah, I've done it. Like I did a fucking silly rap one, like Shank Smith, my alter ego, like fucking years ago.
Really?
And that was fun to me.
Reality show.
I would do a reality thing maybe if it was later on in my career, but not now.
Direct.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah,
I would want to do that.
Will you feel like you missed out if you never directed something?
No, I don't think I would feel like I missed out. I think directing would be like, I imagine myself doing a few projects and then being like, all right, let me just fucking do it. You're fucking it up. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think I would want to direct it that way. You're not doing it the right way. If it's gonna fuck up, let me fuck it up.
Run a marathon.
I would do that. Yeah, at some point.
Okay, let's do LA. We'll do it again. Own a restaurant.
I would love to do that, but I bet that's so fucking hard.
What if your dad pulled you aside and he's like, is your dad still working?
Yeah, he works.
How old's your dad?
70.
Really? My dad's 70.
Oh, yeah?
Do you ever run into 70-year-olds that look old as fuck?
Yeah, you're like, that's how old my dad is.
Our neighbor has a walker and a helper.
Yeah.
And and my daughter the other day walked in and goes, I just saw Mary naked. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, she's in the front yard. And she's out in the front yard. Wow. And I'm just like, whoa. Today I saw her, she was on a walk with her, and I said to my wife, I go, how old is she? She's like, she's your dad's age.
Yeah, that's crazy to me, man. My
By
dad.
the way, I think that's also part of the reason I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
Is I just randomly saw this guy who I respect, and he just had old man legs, and it fucked me up.
Dude, my dad went like this the other night. He goes like this, and he bent, squat all the way down and got up. He's 70. 70-year-olds, I mean, they're like, you know what I mean?
Does your dad drink?
I mean.
Like a glass of wine?
Yeah, not really. Yeah, kind of, a little bit.
Does your mom drink?
Yeah. I mean, none of them, they're not drinkers, but they drink.
What about your brother?
No, he doesn't drink. He used to drink, but he doesn't drink.
At all?
Not at all,
What's he doing?
So we have some stuff that we're trying to do. He's a writer and a director.
He directed a movie. I remember I told you that. I watched the whole movie thinking it was you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's hilarious. Yeah. No, he's a really fucking talented writer-director, yeah.
Right.
So that's what he's doing now. He's writing some stuff for companies and shit like that.
Cool. Halston, do you have any questions for your leader?
Fire away.
I just have one silly question.
Okay.
Will Juan Fire ever achieve elder status and be invited to the log cabin?
Well, Juan Fire, I think...
Can you give a little backstory to this?
Yeah, you're right, yeah. So, all right, so my producer, who is... People don't know who he is, because I started calling him... Because I was like, dude, I'm going to fucking fire you. Because he would fuck up, the kinks and shit that you work out while you're doing a podcast. I was like, I would say, dude, and I would say Juan Fire. I said, you know what? That's what I'm going to call you. That's what your name is from now on, Juan Fire. And so, because I want to fire you. And so now every time I talk to him on the podcast, I just say, hey, Juan Fire, pull that thing up. And then we have another producer. It's just so stupid, actually. There's Juan Fire and Ivan Gets Rid Of. Because it's supposed to be, I want to get rid of you. And so the two of them, whenever they fuck up, well, that's what I call them now anyway. Nobody knows who they are. But by default, they are elders, though. Yeah.
Interesting.
They have pins and certificates.
Wait, what's the
I
hierarchy
named
of
so
your-
yeah, that's right. I fucking got to go back even further. Okay, so my podcast is called Congratulations, and I said, I do so many things. I do stand-up, I do acting, I do podcasts. I was like, fuck that. I want to streamline all this shit. Fuck podcast, fuck all this shit. We're going to make a cult. So I have a cult now. This is what this is. And we're going to announce elders every week or other week.
That's fucking brilliant.
And so people who go above and beyond the duty of congratulations to try and spread the word. We send them certificates of eldership.
Oh, that's fucking brilliant.
And pins and...
You legit pins?
Oh, legit pins that are made, and they're all my babies, And I should have actually brought you one, but I fucking fucked up. I have they're probably 25 elders or 30 elders.
It's so interesting.
And they come to shows and they're like, I'm an elder, and it's fucking awesome. It's so funny, dude.
I made challenge coins.
Uh-huh.
You ever go do the military gigs and they give you challenge coins?
Yeah.
I liked them, and then I looked up how much it was to make them. It was pretty cheap, and so I made 1,000.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I said to everyone, I'll figure out. I'm gonna make them.
Yeah.
When I get them, I'll figure out what we'll do to pass them out. But they're gonna be for free. You just get them.
Right.
And they came in, and I just got them 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
And my wife's like, "Well, hold on." I definitely want to be collecting their emails, so let me set up an email thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, but I put it on Insta stories, and it fucking lit up.
Yeah.
It lit up my emails, all my inboxes, and I was like, oh fuck. But I think we'll make I like when you see someone I made an old Cogs of the Machine shirt, and we only made one round of them, and we sold them. And when I see people wearing that one shirt, I go, dude, you're a legit fan.
Yeah. That's
and they're
cool.
like, oh yeah.
That's cool.
That's fucking brilliant, man. That's really brilliant.
Well, I didn't mean for it to be, dude. I just kind of said it. I'll say just shit, and then sometimes it just takes off on the podcast, and you're like, oh wait, this is a thing. But I just think I always wanted to have a cult, and I think it's funny and cool.
It's so funny that when I first did Rogan and I told the machine story, I was still doing Bert the Conqueror, and this guy came after me saying that Bert the Conqueror is fake, which it pretty much was. The whole premise of the show was fake, that there aren't really challenges at these. He was pretty accurate.
Okay.
But I bet he doesn't even ride the rides. And these guys came after him, and from the Death Squad camp. And they called themselves the Cogs of the Machine.
Oh, wow, that's fucking
And they
cool.
destroyed this guy.
Yeah.
And the guy came out, reached out to me. He was like, man, I need you to call them off. And I was like, hey, man, I didn't make the hate video.
You fucked
I'm
it
sorry.
up. Yeah.
And so
dude, I live by you made your bed,
let's
dude.
finish this podcast with this. You have no problem calling out haters.
Dude. You made your bed. You made your bed. Once you type something out on the internet, it's for everybody, man. That's how the goddamn internet works.
Yeah.
And you better fucking believe it's how it works for me, dude. I type something out, millions of people see it. You've got 80 followers, you type something out, I see it, and I retweet it and respond, and now people are mad at you. Have a taste of how it is. Enjoy, baby. You did this. You made this.
Oh my God, I almost passed out.
Dude, I'm not the bad guy here. Dude.
I saw one last night that said, tell the 1,000 people.
Yeah. That one was kind of just like a cute, subtle one, but dude, when people are like, dude, people fucking say this. You got to be better at promoting your shows. I didn't know, and now it's sold out.
Yeah.
The fucking 2,000 people figured it out. I don't have to be better at all. There's not a seat left. The shit that people try and make you. Or when this is fucking stupid. Why'd you post this on Twitter? That's what Twitter's for. The fucking stupid shit that you don't have to pay to see. Mm-hmm. This is free, man. Send. Oh, you don't like it? Don't come to a show. Don't fucking follow me. You know?
Yeah.
I don't have. You know, people are like, why do you wait? First of all, people are like, why do you waste energy? First of all, it's funny. It's fun for me to do.
Oh, dude, I've watched some of yours.
Yeah.
The slam.
Yeah, you fucking Grant. That's another thing that took
Logan
off on the podcast.
Paul.
Yeah.
Dude, I commented on that.
Yeah, no, I saw your video. I fucking got a lot of hits. That was good.
Dude, I commented on that. And then he called you out the other day saying how great you are.
Yeah. I mean, I think that.
What was that? What was that about?
I don't know. I think it was just like, dude, who cares? What are you gonna have? What are you gonna have? Beef?
Yeah.
Real beef?
Yeah.
You look at these rappers. It's like, dude, they were like, hey, Drake and Meek Mill made up the other day, and then people were like, big famous people were like, it's really cool to see him squash the beef. What, dude? What, man? These are fucking 30-year-old something odd men that like are upset with each other and rhyme about it, and you're happy that they squashed their beef? Dude, get a fucking hobby. It's so ridiculous, bro. It's so ridiculous. You're happy that Meek Mill and Drake squashed their beef. It's good for the culture. Dude, get the fuck out of here, man. That's so ridiculous. Go get a face tattoo. It's so ridiculous. Go do laundry. Go do something else.
Oh,
it's so ridiculous, man. Beef is so fucking ridiculous, man. I think that's what Logan Paul was doing. And I gave him a grand slam, dude. He came to Denny's and I fucking and he tried to do it back. And whoever you think fucking got the best of whoever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It was fucking months ago.
It was you. It was so enjoyable.
Yeah, it was, but also like, this is what I do. This is what we do. He doesn't do that. I don't know why he was, quote unquote, entering the octagon. Yeah. Why the fuck would you do that shit? But whatever, it was fun. I think he doesn't care.
How much hate did you get from his fans?
I mean, it's.
Did you even look at it online, or were you just like?
Yeah, I was. I mean, you can't look at all of it. It was so big, dude.
Really?
It was so big, man. I would walk down the street and people would be like, it was like I did the Tonight Show in 1988. It was like, hey, man, fucking good job on Logan. I was like, what? It was like some mom. It was so big, dude. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it was so... Dude, it got more likes than anything Donald Trump has ever tweeted, and he's the president. Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's insane. It was insane. I mean, it was a while ago at this point, but it was just insane. It was insane how big it was.
That was... I mean, it was so insane. I think Halston brought it up to me and we watched it live and I enjoyed it live. And then all of a sudden someone hit me up and like, yo, that has like 700,000 views. Mm-hmm. I was like, wait, what? Yeah. I thought it was just you and him. I didn't know it would be as big as it was.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was the kind of the, when things go viral, it's interesting because it's definitely a timing thing. Like I did this Eminem thing, the Eminem impression thing.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I think the reason it went very viral, I think it was because his album came out.
His album came out.
You know what I mean? It's just, you have to hit it at the right time.
Dude, and then I watched people try to emulate.
Yeah.
I saw that and it kind of bothered me.
Well, it's always cringy when they do that. But I think the Logan Paul thing was, it had been long enough that dead body thing happened where he filmed the dead body in the forest.
Yeah.
People hated him for that. But people also had this like, who the fuck is this guy that my kids like? Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think it was just the perfect storm. And then my fans also who know I do this shit were like extra happy. I just think it was...
They get a kick out of it.
I just think
the Eminem thing made me fucking die laughing. I was in New York and the album just came. No, the album. I didn't know the album come out, and I saw you do it.
Nice, okay.
And cool. I watched Brendan Schaub watch you do it.
Oh, gotcha.
And I was howling laughing, and I was like, oh God. And then I went on to your Instagram, watched it again, and I was dying laughing. And then I was like, wait, Eminem's got a new album out?
Oh, that's.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. Part of me thinks that he should be a little happy that like you do something like that because it is promotion.
Sure, yeah.
And I mean, I'm not going to stop loving Eminem.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, me neither. I fucking love Eminem, but
did he reach out at all?
No. He's had to have seen it though. I mean, it went so big, and he kind of I feel like he knows what's going on.
He's got a good sense of humor. He's friends with Florentine. I feel like he would get it, And can I tell you
what?
I'm secretly praying that he puts you in his distracted Machine Gun Kelly.
That'd be hilarious
if he starts off with floorboard porn.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious. I mean, that would be fucking amazing. Yeah, but I
think you and him would get along so fucking good.
Dude,
because he's silly as fuck. From what Florentine says, he loves comedy and he's real silly.
How do they know each other?
Florentine did Crank Yankers. He did special ed. I've got mail. Do you remember that? Wait, you never saw that?
Oh, I know Crank Yankers.
Did you ever see the one special ed?
I don't know. I might have to see it. I might have.
They call him and he goes and you hear AOL go, "You've got mail," and he just goes, "I've got mail." He's a special needs kid.
Okay.
And
something that would never be on TV today. Then
never.
Yeah.
And Eminem used to call him as special ed.
Oh, really?
And be like. To Florentine. Florentine was like, I know it's him.
That's a trip.
I can't fucking. Yeah, that Eminem thing was fucking. Do you have it? Is there like to anyone listening? Is there any thought that goes into that, or is that literally you? Fucking around in the car.
Yeah,
that's it.
I parked. I parked, and then I was like, dude, he raps so fun. I was like, so. And I was like, I'm just going to do it. I talked about it a little bit on my podcast a few weeks before that. And then I was just like, I'm just going to put up a video. It'll be funny. And I just did it and then put it up.
Now, do you check? This is fucking really inside baseball. Do you post it and then check like 10 minutes later and go, oh, 20,000, that's going to go big?
I mean, I check it. Yeah, but I don't know. No, I don't know until like, you don't know really until a week later, really. Yeah. I mean, there were fucking literally articles written on it. It was weird as fuck. Like all the magazines picked it up and were like, "This is the Eminem impression, and this is what they." And then people got way too deep into it. They were like, "This is why Eminem has fallen off because of this kind. People can imitate him like this, and this is what it's like, and this is what he's doing." And it was weird. I just read one just on the way here. It was like dissecting. It was in NPR. It was on NPR. It was like,
are you fucking
serious?
Serious?
It was an NPR article, and then it brought up my impression, and it was like, see, this is why people got. He's like, he's still rapping like this, and it's like the more he says, the less he says because he's just doing these silly acrobatics, and it was like citing my thing. It's fucking so weird when something goes viral.
Yeah, that is fucking bizarre.
It's bizarre, dude. Because then people pick it up just because other people are picking it up. And then, yeah. The other weird thing is it didn't go viral because I posted it. It went viral because this other guy posted it. And then it went the rounds. Like a lot of these, like, a lot of, like, it became very popular with a lot of, like in like, quote unquote, like black comedians and shit. And like, I was like, why did it go viral there? And maybe it's because it's hip hop, but hip hop isn't just black anymore.
But I think everyone's had to secede that Eminem's the greatest MC that's ever lived. And I kind of, part of me thinks that is a little bit of the thorn in the side to hip hop, is that it really is. Like it's a black art form, and the fact that a white guy's number one. I mean, they would. I think everyone always says Eminem's number one, best MC that's ever
as lived. MC.
Yeah,
MC. Sure, yeah.
Do you purposely avoid politics?
Dude, it has a shelf life.
No, meaning like does stuff like right now I'm obsessed with I'm obsessed with a couple things, but like one of them's Olivia Munn calling out her co-stars.
Oh, that politics.
Just like the kind of stuff that like Rogan will have is like he has MMA, he has comedians, and then he has like these social commentary guys.
Yeah.
Do you purposely avoid that? 'Cause I kind of actually said I did, and then someone called me out and said, actually you don't. And I was like, wait, maybe I don't. And then I was like, oh, people definitely aren't coming to me for politics.
Right.
Like did you see the one about Serena, the cartoon?
No, the cartoon, no.
Oh,
racist?
It's pretty racist.
Yeah,
I'll talk about this today, but I always found I worked at theme parks a lot, for Bert the Conqueror. Mm-hmm. I always found caricatures racist.
Yeah.
Like when they have the caricature artist.
Yeah.
And they bring in, I remember watching this black guy. This guy literally did a like 1930s racist cartoon of the guy. Just made his lips real big, his nose real big, his hair all froed out, and they showed it to him, and the guy was like, oh. And I was like, cartoons in general.
It's interesting.
Like,
I mean, every cartoon is that way.
Every cartoon is. I remember them doing a cartoon of me.
They
did a cartoon of me at the caricatures, and I was like, "Is that how you see me?"
Yeah.
He was like, "I made me bald with big lips, a big beak of a nose, and a fat fucking with my eating a hoagie," and I was like, "I just sat down. Like you drew, you literally went through all that and saw me." But do you stay away from like the socio?
I mean, I talk about it on my podcast
just not
a
interest
lot,
you?
but it usually, I don't know. Maybe sometimes it's hard for me to think it's funny because it's like real, you know? But I don't know. I mean, I definitely have opinions on it and shit. And on my podcast, I talk about it a lot.
Really?
And just make it, make light of it. But it's like. I also, some part of me is like, I feel like I don't know enough about it.
Dude, that's how I feel.
And I also feel like
constantly.
no matter what, we don't know enough about it because who knows what somebody's story or the other person's story is or what the other side of the story is. And
I always feel like Bill Burr is going to do it 10 times better than I.
Well, but here's the other thing too. Not only is it going to be better, it's going to be quicker with him. You're like, oh, he did it. Oh, he did it yesterday. Didn't that? It happened today. How did he know? You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I don't know. It's tough. Like,
dude, I appreciate you doing this. I fucking could talk to you for hours.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, you're like, but I feel like you're someone that I've always been just interested in. Like, you're an interesting guy to watch.
Oh, cool.
I told you. I don't know if I told you this, but I know I've said this on my podcast, so I'll own it. But I told you when I first started doing the store a lot. I remember coming off stage with my shirt off. And I was back in the corner, like right in the back entrance by the cars. And you were standing by your car and you were wearing pants that looked like they were from Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember looking at myself in dad jeans going like, and we had just been looking for cars. And the car you had at the time, or maybe it's one of your cars, was the one in the showroom. I remember being in the showroom and going, oh, this one's nice. I'm like, oh, it's $225,000. And I was like, and you were sitting there and I was like, and I remember looking at my outfit. And just going like, and then knowing I Ubered because I was drinking. And I was just like, whoa, I got to step up my fucking game. I literally started buying shoes from Angelo Blando. A week later, you were like, I think you said, I got my shoe guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I started following him.
Yeah.
I literally started following him and then was like, he was like, if you got these in the 13, and I hit him up, I was like, I use the 13. And he was like, the machine follows me, and I was like,
funny.
I was like, oh, you're coming to my house.
Yeah. That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, but I appreciate this, man.
Yeah, me too, man.
I'm really glad to know you. I really am.
I feel the same way, man. I fucking, there's enough people out there that you don't like seeing. When I see you and you're in the Comedy Store, and I'm like, oh, I'm always happy to see you, man. You're one of those fucking few people that I'm genuinely always happy to see, and I appreciate that about you.
Dude, well, I'm super excited for your fucking the Netflix drop. That's going to be massive. That's going to be
I'm excited
massive.
for it too. We'll see.
Like, I just want you to take me on tour with you and you go to Venezuela, dude. And there's just like, mira. Awesome, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man.